you came up with your name and you did your business plan. So you went to school to learn to do a business plan, or did you know how to do a business plan before?
I knew how to do a business plan before. So I went to school really to be able to reset. I went to business school at Columbia, which provided a really strong base of knowledge in finance, and entrepreneurship was something that I focused on. But it was much more higher level skills that I focused on at Columbia. I knew how to do a business plan already, but I was able to enhance my knowledge from all the professional experiences that I had, and I was able to take the classes and really apply them to building a business. So where I knew how to put together a marketing plan when I went to Columbia, I really knew how to analyze that marketing plan. Where I understood valuation prior to Columbia, now I really understood the viewpoint of the venture capitalists who would be looking at my company as a potential investment. So it really enhanced the knowledge that I had, and it also gave me a great network of people and eventually investors into my company.
Did you go full-time or did you go part-time, like after work?
I did
Of course, if you work 9 to 9, it's a little hard to go after work.
Exactly. Well, when I started at Columbia Business School, I left my job at Blackstone. And so I did the executive MBA program. And while I was doing the executive MBA program, I worked full-time on my business Galavante. And that was far more than 9 to 9. Then my hours became 7 to midnight every night. But it was a completely different feel and a different passion that I was taking to my job every day.
They say, you know, oh, you work on your own, you have your own business, you can make your own hours. Somehow that doesn't fly. You're worse than 24/7. I mean, you don't have enough hours in the day. Now, did you have problems raising financing to start this business?
So for me, I was able to put a really significant amount of financing into my company on my own when I first started. And also, of course, with the support of my husband, because someone put the roof over our heads. But when we were ready to go out for our friends and family round of financing, I had a lot of support from the people that I'd worked with in my previous career, and also through all the contacts that I'd made, having a career in finance for over 10 years.
Were they jumping on the bandwagon, or did they analyze, or did they just say, oh, Christina's doing this, it's got to be good, I'll invest some money?
All of the above. So I had a number of people who just knew me and had known me for many, many years who immediately wrote a check. They said, we've known you, we know how determined you are, and we also know that you can really build this business. We believe in you as a CEO. And so for those people, it was more of, we want you to succeed, here's our investment. For others, it was, do you really have a compelling business idea? Where we would go through our revenue streams, we would go through our expense, we would go through what potential valuation scenarios would be. So it really ranged the gamut from the investors that we brought on. And I have to say that once we started taking on investors who did not know me, it was a huge vote of confidence and a huge compliment to me that somebody who did not know me personally, as well as those people who do know me personally, of course, because I deeply appreciated the investment. But once we started taking in investors who didn't know me, I realized that we really had a compelling business.
What would you like to leave the audience with?
I think starting a business is not for everyone. In theory, it sounds really great to start a business and to be your own boss, but it really has to be something that, one, you have an idea that you're passionate about. Two, you have an execution plan, because really execution is key. You can have great ideas, but unless you're able to implement those ideas, it's not going to be something that's going to be successful. The other thing is surround yourself with the right people. One of the first things I did in my business was I created an advisory board, and they've been so incredibly important to helping guide me through difficult times, because every single business has difficult times. And they've also been a good sounding board and a really strong support system. So that's incredibly important too. And then you also have to be passionate about your business. You go through highs and you go through lows. You have to remain even keel, but you also have to love what you're doing. You know, I came from a place where my path was defined. Had I stayed in that path whether or not I still would have worked for the same firm, I still would have been in the same industry, and there's really a defined path. And that would have been good. But Voltaire once said that good is the enemy of great. And so what I've done with Galavante is we're really trying to achieve the great. Whether or not we ultimately get there, that still remains to be seen, but we're incredibly grateful for how far we've come, and we have a vision and a path for where we expect to go.
Christine, this has been so fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.